Hello, hello, you're listening to Maker Park Radio. This is Electrosteam radio show. My name is Edka. And as you can see, today in the studio I brought a very special guest, and we will just give me a moment. I will introduce to you who this guest is. I just want to remind to all, it's Friday, September the 20th. The local time in New York is 2 p.m. 12 p.m. And we are broadcasting live from Maker Space, which is located at Staten Island on Maker Park Radio, obviously, and Staten Island, New York. In today's show, I will share the amazing story of Captain Alaska, who recently came back from sailing all along great distance from New York shore all the way to the port Nuuk, which is located in Greenland, on a very small yacht. This voyage was in his dreams for a very, very long time, and this show is dedicated to this amazing journey that he was brave enough to go for. Some people that he was speaking with, including his friends and family, and just some people that he knew, tried to give him the word of wisdom and share with him something that he should be aware of, but that this journey is extremely difficult and extremely risky. But nevertheless, Captain Alaska wasn't the one who would take someone's word of wisdom. He was strong in his idea. And before I will jump to some incredible moments of his journey, let me first introduce Captain Alaska himself. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stanislav Shiglov.
Hello, Ed, and hello, everybody.
Here you are, right?
yeah, I'm here. I'm so happy to make here, and now I'm in this studio. Amazing day.
Yeah. It's definitely a nice to have you here, but not anymore on the boat, not anymore on your yacht. It's great to be with you in the studio. It's been a long time since my dream came true, and finally you are here. Let me just tell the audience that I usually don't call you by your full name. I call you by your short name, which is just Stas. And I also like to share with our audience that today's playlist of all different tracks and videos was actually suggested by Stas himself. And we will play these tracks and selected music that kept you inspired.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
We will hear it. And also we have one more person in the studio. Stas's friend, Sofia. Hello, Sofia. And a great supporter and a person who tried to give you the wisdom and didn't go through successfully like we all of us. So the words of wisdom didn't reach your mind yet. I mean, maybe at this stage in your life. But anyway, let's wrap up with that. Also, I'd like to make another announcement. Besides the music that we'll be playing is all yours, there's another announcement. Today we will be monitoring the makerparkradio.nyc chat. If you wish to leave your comment or ask a question, please do so. Again, the website is makerparkradio.nyc. And there, once you get to the page, you should see the big, in the middle of the screen, there's going to be a video of this event. And also to the right side, there's a tab which is named chat. Just click on it, and then we will monitor it. Also, you could make phone calls directly to the studio, and the number is 347-620-5325. One more time, 347-620-5325. And I think that is it for now. Thank you for your attention. Now let's hear some good music, and we will continue the playlist that Stas provided. All right. And let me just say a couple of words about the music, the bands that we chose to play today. Well, the last band that we just played is called Denheim, right? Denheim. And Stas, you help me if something came.
Yes, it's a song of the Vikings. Actually, the way I sail long time ago, that way the Vikings cross.
Yep. And the name of this particular song is Berserker. I think it's probably
It's like a lumberjack.
lumberjack. That's what it means. Wow. Okay. And the previous project, which we played in the beginning, well, it is called Atlantida Project. Atlantida Project from St. Petersburg. And I know this particular band, Atlantida Project, is one of your favorite ones, because why did you select it, that band?
It's just become a part of my soul. And while I sailing, I didn't have any source of the music for 2 months, and that music shows up on my head and playing and playing and playing.
Well, we'll just hold off about people not about what happened to you on your journey and music in your head playing, keep playing, and on. But even before you sailed off to Greenland, I remember when I would ask you, give me a couple of names of electronic or whatever, like new music that you like to listen of Russian origin. Atlantida Project was always there, and that's one of those songs, one of those musical. Projects that you like. Very cool. And let's come back to our story, why we are here. I know we are well, first of all, let me just give our listeners some, and viewers as well, just some full picture of how it all began and how you ended up going to Greenland. So let's roll back by approximately, I would say, almost 2 years, right?
3 years.
Even 3 years ago. Okay. I only know the story starting in the part when you arrived to New York. And let me just share what I know, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong somewhere, okay? Sure. So in about 2017, you returned to New York, and if it was earlier than that, you can correct me in a bit. After living and working in Alaska for about 15 years as a professional sailor on the board of a fishing vessel, serving in the northern waters of Alaska. That on its own already not an easy job. That prepared Stas for all the challenges he encountered later on his sail to Greenland. Now, my question for Stas, can you share with us how it was for you to be working in the icy waters of Alaska, and you can brief us when exactly you came to New York? Go ahead. Yeah.
No, okay. Alaska is a great wild land. 15 years ago, I just go there like a hitchhiker and fall to love to that country and decide to stay and go to fishing commercial industry to make some cash. And of course, 3 years ago, I was calling to my friend and to New York, which is Roman Gadжилov, is my partner, and tell him, hey man, let's change something. He is the good musician and poet, and we found on the internet old sailboat, very cheap, and buy them and decide go to through Northwest Passage.
What is North Passage?
Northwest Passage.
Northwest. Sorry.
It's a passage comes from east side of the Canada all the way through the Alaska by north through the ice.
Okay, that's another crazy idea.
Yeah. And it was till 2007 it was impossible to do that because it was full of pack of the ice, and from 2007 the Canada buy first icebreaker, so the make a channel for the boat. And when I arrived to New York, we start prepare boat in 2000, late 2018, early 2018, and start our adventure early in spring. And you, Edka, that's how we meet. You make for us great C-Punk projects because we all love the music.
Okay, we will talk about C-Punk's project a little bit later in the show, but let's get back to my question about you serving on the fishing vessel for 15 years, and just tell the listeners how, the daily routine, how much, like, not how much money you made, but yeah, did you pay all the taxes? That's not the question I care about. We want to know just physically how much challenging this is, and what is the season, and just that kind of stuff. You're related to your work as a fisherman in Alaska.
Yes, it's one of the extremely hard job, maybe like astronaut or another warrior on the war, soldier. Yes, and I experienced that. It's very tough. But same time it's very beautiful job because we explore the wildness of Alaska country, and of course it's good money for short season.
When does the season start?
There is 4 seasons actually: winter season, summer season, spring, and fall season.
Okay. So which one was your least favorite?
It's
least favorite, not the most favorite. Yeah.
A least favorite. For summertime.
You didn't like to work in the summertime, or you did like work in the summer?
I don't like it.
Wow. It's summertime in Alaska. It's like still it's like 50 degrees.
Yeah,
right?
because I like also hiking and climbing, and while I can do that, I spend time in the ocean.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and for how long each sail? For how long it goes for? Let's say each session.
Depends on the season. From it could be 1 week until the 3 months.
So if you go for 1 week, is it 24 hours a day operation?
Yes, non-stop.
Non-stop, 24 hours a day.
Yes.
Wow. So for 1 week.
Sometimes for the couple months.
How do you not get tired?
You have no choice.
Okay, that's why they play you big bucks.
Yes.
to be in power.
Yeah.
To stay awake. And can you describe what do you usually do? What is the process? So you go, and do you usually work with one particular fishing boat, or how many?
Yes. Just I work last 15 years with one. It's a family business. Captain, he is built his own boat, and I work with him. So I'm officially a deckhand, but right now he is a captain, helper, everything for many years.
So just want to remind our listeners, you're listening to Maker Park Radio, Electrosteam radio show. We have Captain Alaska, or his full name is Stas Shiglov, who recently came from a sail to Greenland, and now he's in the studio. And my name, Edka, I'm your host. Let's continue. So my next question to you, so you go, and what are you expected to, let's say you went for a week, you came back, and you didn't catch anything, didn't catch any fish.
Yes, sometimes
what happens then? Do you get paid?
Nope. It's gambling. It's like a casino.
Like casino, right? Does it happen often that this ending, this kind of?
Not often, but it's happened sometimes.
It happens, yeah. Okay, yeah. And so now my next question would be, in the winter time or colder season, because I've seen videos from Alaska and from like Discovery Channel, whatever, History Channel. They show these boats. How big is the boat actually?
It's about 56 feet.
56, wow, exactly. About 56 feet, exactly. How many people on board?
Usually 3 people.
Usually just 3 people?
Yeah.
That's all, including captain?
Yep.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow, that's not a lot of personnel there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking there's like more.
No. It's a private business. That's why.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So you go out for a week or 3 months, and you try to catch fish, and then Do you have to process that fish that you catch?
No, no, we just catch and deliver it.
That's all. So it's as soon as you catch the fish, you go back to the shore.
Yeah, we have like 5 days.
5 days to come back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. Okay, and so you're some hardcore dude, man.
I didn't know that.
And you worked for 15 years.
Yes.
For 15 years, like that. Okay. All right. So and then eventually you came back to New York. At some point you decided that it's not cool enough, or it's not hard enough for you, and you came up with an idea to you came to New York with an idea to go on a longer voyage. I know you came here. Okay, so let's get to fast forward a bit. Now you're back to New York. And when did you arrive to New York? It wasn't 2017. It wasn't fall of 2017.
Yes.
It was
spring.
Spring? Spring of so you came.
Oh no, yes. I'm sorry, mistaken. Yeah, it's fall.
Fall of 2017.
Yeah, I just buy with my friends by internet that sailboat in Connecticut. We're sailing back to New York and bring to marina, and I left it. I come back to Alaska for winter season, and in spring of 2018 I come back here in the March.
Okay, now I recall what was happening. Right, so you've met with your friend Roman, who came here once, and Roman is also another character, another hero, I would say, and he is an amazing poet, very adventurous guy himself.
Extremely, I would say.
Extremely, yes, right. And no wonder that you hooked with each other, but you know each other for 20-something years, right?
Yes.
It's not the first time you're trying something. And so you bought the yacht, which, let's give the name of the yacht.
Well, it's exactly sailboat. It's not correct to call them yacht anymore.
Oh, it's not a yacht, it's just a sailboat?
Sailboat, yeah.
What is the difference between the sailboat and the yacht?
Yes, because yacht, they call it right now, it's with big engine,
with
sail. Before you may call it yacht, but now they call it sailboat. And yacht, means with huge engine, motor, powerful.
Okay, for wealthy individuals, right?
Fleet, yeah.
Not for people who works as a fisherman in Alaska. So okay, got you. So you and Roman, you chipped in and you purchased the sailboat, and you brought it from Connecticut to New York, Brooklyn Marina, right?
Yes.
Which is off Bay Parkway, and you settled there for the winter.
Roger.
Good. This is a good point where we can continue our music and come back to the next segment. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Electrosteam, and let's continue to the music that Stas personally selected. All right. And of course, there was Fever Ray. Stas, why did you choose Fever Ray?
Long time ago, while I crossed Pacific Crest Trail, I saw that band on the live playing in San Francisco, and it's stuck in my head and remind me music of traveling well with nobody around you.
I hear it. Yeah, okay. That's so it gives you an impression of puts you in a mood of traveling. Okay, great. Great. I also like Fever Ray. I think it's one of those mysterious bands, and actually, to a degree, I could say they a little bit the impression and the imagery they show may be somewhat related to Gaelic or even Vikings.
Kinda, yeah. It's kinda pagan style music.
Yeah, pagan style of music. And by the way, knowing you, and I know Stas personally, I can say that much of your soul also related to old Vikings and all Viking times. Possibly in your previous reincarnation, in one of your previous lives, you used to live maybe on the Iceland yourself, and used to go and do the you hunt and fishing, and used to be a warrior. Like your look will suggest that. You don't. I mean, I know your origin is Russian. But who knows? I know that Vikings actually conquered Russia in the beginning. They were ruling it, so who knows?
Yes, they do.
You gotta do DNA test. Maybe your great grandfather is living still in Greenland. I don't know. All right, cool. So let's roll back to where we left off before. So we spent fair amount of time talking about you working in Alaska and coming back to New York. And speaking about coming back to New York, you also used to live in New York between like late 1990s and early 2000s.
Yes, I came to 1997 till 2003.
You came to New York in 1997, right?
Yep.
And prior to be living in New York, you were born in Russia, as I said.
Soviet Union.
In Soviet Union, back then USSR, the communists, under the communist Iron Curtain. And you were, looks like I'm a little bit too loud. You were living in the Taimyr Peninsula, which is north of Russia. It's like Ural Mountains nearby.
It's
further.
Yes, it's right in the middle of the north of Siberia. One of the northern city in the world, especially by population.
How big is the population of the city?
200,000 people.
Wow, that's not a lot. That's comparable to Nuuk, right? Or more?
No.
Way more?
Nuuk is the capital of the Greenland. It's 17,000, and I will say it's as Anchorage of Alaska, same size of the city.
Like Anchorage. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and let's continue. So you lived there until the age of 18, and in 1997 you came here as an immigrant, and here you were settled. You started to go to school to study for art and music. Or no, actually you didn't study. You just you were hanging out with
Yes, I started, but I started from the streets.
So yeah, underground. Deep underground.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the right thing to do in many cases.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. So, well, we can go on and on about your beginning. Let's jump. I don't think we have that much time, so let's jump back to United States, New York, in the year of 2018. Now, in spring of 2018, in March.
Mm-hmm.
You went to Alaska for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And you came back again to continue in your preparations of fixing up the sailboat you and Roman purchased, which was parked and raised from the water. And I actually posted pictures on Facebook today about that original
Yeah.
All it's like very first pictures of the of windrows.
Yeah, thanks. I saw that.
Yeah, and so you started working on fixing the sailboat, getting ready in 2018 to go to Greenland, right? You wanted to do it already back
yes,
then.
Yes. This sailboat actually not prepared for offshore sailing, not for the ocean. It's a coastal sailboat.
Right.
So me and my friend Roman, we try to maximize
Enforce it, right?
enforce it that sailboat to be off grid and be capable to cross the
So you installed
big open water. Yeah,
you installed. I remember you were installing solar panels,
solar panels, wind generator,
wind turbine, and something that included wiring, converter. Yeah.
Also wood stove.
The wood stove, that was one of my most favorite things. You purchased that nice Canadian wood stove, which is small but very effective. It's meant to be used for like using a little bit of what is it, wood and
piece of chunk of the wood.
Yeah, chunk of the wood and
dry wood.
become provide most heat. Great, yes. So you did all that work. How long did that took you?
Couple of months.
A couple of months, yeah. And back then, while you were fixing up your sailboat, did you think that you would definitely go?
Yes, I keep that picture in my head.
You were defined.
Yep.
And determined. Okay. What about your friend Roman?
Well, he was also involved in that, and but I don't know what happened with him inside. But anyway,
the voice of wisdom and the voice of sanity, maybe that happened inside.
Yeah. But
the voice of reason as well.
He was my good partner, and we
Yes.
worked together for that.
Yeah. And and I know that actually you guys there was a number of funny stories happened to you back in 2018. I know that you guys together you sailed from Brooklyn Marina, your first attempt to go far, besides like being in the waters nearby Staten Island and New Jersey and Brooklyn, which was pretty good for the time. I think you were guys super popular. And then we have to mention Sea-Punk's project. We'll mention it in a bit. You were very popular. People found out about you and Roman, and people started calling you up in the summer to take them on a quick journey from Brooklyn to like Jersey Shore. And I know you've done like at least, I don't know, 40, 50 trips. Something like that. Yeah. So that wasn't enough for you. So and then in the summer of 2018, you guys decided to give it a try, and you said we're gonna go to Maine. No, you said we're gonna go to Canada, I think, first, right?
Well, Alaska.
Better.
Yes.
Better. Yeah.
We really didn't know how's gonna be everything. So in the first time we hit by storm and we have big damages. It was exactly on the border of the Canada, on the in the main state of waters, and we get big damages. So we decide to return. That's it.
Back to New York. So you hold on. You sailed from New York. You've gotten to all the way to, I think, Acadia Park in Maine.
Yes.
Acadia Park.
It's one of the stop.
One of the
point.
One of the stops. Okay. And mind, dear listeners, just mind that these two guys, they had absolutely no cash on hands.
Yes, that's the one of the point. We try to see the idea is how to possibly live off grid on the sailboat with the minimum budget and travel. And it was very challenge because sailboat it's a challenge. It's not just a car. It's a technology engineering machine, and of course you need to know some knowledges for that. But in generally, it's kind of gypsy kind of style of grid lifestyle on the water, and we want to try it, and we try that.
Yeah. I remember that very, very well, and I mean, I'm going to skip the drama part. No one needs to know. I'm going to go straight to the point that you actually eventually did sail to Maine, and it's a journey. It's about 1 week, right, of nonstop, a little more.
A little bit more to Jersey.
No, to Maine, to Acadia
to
Park.
Maine. Well, a little bit more. It took us because we make couple stop. We make sailing easy.
Yes.
2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. Yeah.
Mhm.
And how many nautical miles?
Oh, I don't remember exactly right now.
But it's not. It's far not the distance that to, like, let's say to Nova Scotia.
No, it's a little bit shorter, but same level.
Same path. Yeah.
Same.
Okay. Wow. All right. So we are getting just about to the point when so summer of 2018. You doing these short trips between Brooklyn, New Jersey, Staten Island. You went to Maine, to the state of Maine. So you went to, you passed all these states, Massachusetts. You passed through Connecticut, and to the state of Maine, which is large, and Acadia State Park. And where did you stay in the state of Maine? Which island? Is it Block Island? Is not there. I think it's.
Yes, it's.
It's there.
Yeah, no, it's Block Island. It's the end of the Long Island.
Okay.
Really, I don't remember the names. We just found some island and came and anchored there.
And just anchored there. Okay.
Yeah.
And people were welcoming locals.
Yeah, they was very nice. So it's a special brotherhood between sail brothers.
Sailors. Yeah.
And everybody, if they see another sail, they help.
All right, cool. Now we're just about to begin the next stage, the end of 2018, because in the 2018 there was a lot of turmoil, whether you should go or you should not go, and by the end of 2018 things started to settle in a different fashion. I believe that you were extremely determined to continue to do something extravagant. It's not extravagant. It's something. Trying to find the right word. It's just I'll use simple vocabulary today. Yes, it's just beyond. It's just dangerous and unpredictable and unspeakable. And why it's unspeakable and dangerous is because usually on a journey like this, first of all, you have to have I'm talking about the journey, not local sails near the coastline, but doing what you did after in the 2019, which we will talk about just in a right after we play another music video. I think what you've done is almost unacceptable to do it. It's like you were so you were playing such a risky game, such a big gambling, because you didn't have funds, resources, you didn't have the right sailboat, and many other aspects of this other journey to Greenland, which was completely different. And on top of it, it was not only different from what you used to do here locally, it was also a solo sail, where no one else out there would come and just say, hey, go and take a rest, I'm gonna stand up here and steer the boat, or I'm gonna take care of sails, or I'm going to like do whatever else. You were all by yourself. So let's just end here, play some more music, and come back to the story. And I'd like to thank everybody for listening and participating. We are getting messages in the chat. We'll try to respond to them. Thank you so much. Stay with us.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. When I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way. For your love I will go far. I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you. Our love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way. I go solo, oh I go solo. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way. Happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way. I go solo, oh I go solo. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way.
All right, you're listening to Maker Park Radio, Electrosteam radio show, broadcasting live from New York. In the studio, we have an amazing and rare guest, Captain Alaska, a person who crossed from New York to Greenland in 50 days on a small sailboat, about 1,700 nautical miles, all alone, without any fancy navigational gear, without much of resources. He had bare minimal with him. And let's talk about your that passage had two parts to it. First, you sailed from New York to Staten Island. Oh, sorry, from New York. from Staten Island. I apologize. From Staten Island to
St. John's.
To St. John, yeah, St. John,
Canada.
In
it's
Canada,
Newfoundland.
That's Newfoundland. That's not Nova Scotia, right?
No.
I made a mistake.
That's the place, the first where the Viking came.
Right. I actually did a little bit of research to see what that place is like, and that was right. The port that you traveled to is called St. John, which was the location first visited by Samuel Champlain, which is a French discoverer who came to New World back then in 1604.
Yeah, that's official.
The official, yeah. But we know that Vikings reached that coast long time ago. But that's the official story. We gotta stick to the printed press. At least that's what Wikipedia tells us. But let's come back to a moment. So you sailed off, correct, from Staten Island. You were stationed in 2018, and I believe you brought that sailboat first to Marina on Staten Island in the fall of 2018, and it was preserved. It was lifted off water, and it was parked next to all the other sailboats there. And in March of 2019, you moved to leave on the boat while it was still snow outside. I remember that, and I was visiting you because I live not that far from that marina. And it was funny to see you. You were completely determined. You were happy in your state, and you didn't feel in your element. Yes, nothing was absolutely bothering you. You felt comfortable, and we spent many evenings chatting. I came several times to you. And you've been talking and talking. I'm gonna go, and as soon as the summer comes, I'm gonna fix up this boat. And there's a little window between July and end of August. I'm gonna definitely do that. I'm definitely going there, and I just need to, like I was looking at you thinking, dude, what kind of drugs are you taking? What are you talking about? Greenland alone? Are you kidding me? That's like ice water there, and there's like icebergs. What are you talking about? And yet that didn't stop you. You were extremely determined. So, and now springtime was over. Around May of 2019, you were doing final preparations. Everybody who spoke to you thought you were completely nuts. At that point, your medical state and your mental state was completely knowing to your entire circle of friends. And no one had any doubts that this guy is a nutcase. And also people didn't have any doubts that you're going to go anywhere. People had no, they didn't think you're going to sail anywhere.
Yes. Actually, one of my friends tried stop with the police and helicopters.
All right. Yeah, that took place right after you. Right after you took off. We will tell that. We'll share that story. So, what really happened is that the experienced friends who maybe once been on the boat.
I don't say who.
Or seen it on pictures in large print. They felt that they have enough balls to tell you what to do. And they told you that this is impossible, nobody would do this, and you shouldn't do it, and you've got no prospects to get anywhere. To which you calmly said, what I loved about you, it was that you didn't engage into arguments with anybody. But for example, me, I would engage in a fist fight first, and then just whatever, doesn't matter how it would end, but at least I would have to make sure that people heard my opinion. But you didn't argue with anybody. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's not possible. I agree. It's not doable. I agree. Yes, you shouldn't do it. I agree.
Yeah, kids, don't try it home. Yeah,
don't try it. No. Yeah, you shouldn't go without the maps. No, without the navigation. And so the day arrives. Eventually, the day arrives, and the day, I think you came here to Makerspace, to Maker Park, on July 7th.
Actually, they did not arrive exactly. I didn't have my pay money anymore. Budget was zero to pay for marina. So
I have you couldn't pay for parking anymore. That was your triggering point, right?
Yeah. So all right, let's go.
So so you couldn't, because you couldn't continue to making payments for your sailboat to be parked over there. You said, okay, this is it.
Yeah, this is day. Okay.
yeah, this is it. I'm going to. You kind of you made a post. I remember you made a post on Facebook. I'm going to sail off in the next week, but then something else. All right, in a few days, and no one took it seriously. Eventually, the day came, which was July 8th, and I drove by. I didn't go onto your boat just because I thought maybe just wanted to see what's going to happen. I just wanted to see if you're going to sail or not. So I know the day before I drove you to your sailboat, to your sailboat, and the next day I came by to see if you're still there. I think in the morning or maybe the next day we're still there because it was the day off, and then the day after I came.
I have terrible hangover.
Right, I remember. Accidentally, incidentally, indeed. So, and then I came to check on you again, and you weren't there. So you were serious. Then not a couple of days. I think the same day I started receiving many calls from your friends, yelling at me that I allowed this to happen, and I'm like, guys, he's a grown man. He's a grown man. That's what am I supposed to hold his hand or something? He's a grown person and he can make his own decisions. If he wants to go, I said, listen, he didn't ask for anybody, the money, he didn't ask for the boat, it's his. It's his, he himself, he can go where he feels like. So now you started to sail off. What happened then? Okay, so you sailed. You left Staten Island.
Okay, I'll say in the beginning, for my, of course, I realize how risky is that, and I know probably what I'm doing with my past experience of 15 years in Bering Sea. winter conditions. And but the risk still big, and I choose it and I start it. So first couple days I sailing out. I took the Gulfstream,
Okay.
and
How many miles away it is from the coastline?
it's about 100.
Wow. 100 miles away from the coastline. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's far.
Yeah. And the weather was nice first week, even it was still calm, flat, no wind, and I still preparing the boat, fixing everything, because the boat was really not very good condition. And then I start my journey. I even while I sailing first week, I not realize what I'm doing really, and where it to bring me to. But I know my I use my intuition and keep my goal, my destiny, my point in my head, and follow that.
Okay. So you were in the Gulf Stream. Okay. So how does it feel to be in the Gulf Stream? Is it it's a current which goes upward, right? Which goes north,
Yeah.
right? And how fast is that current?
2-3
Knots.
nautical knots.
Nautical knots. And what's important to remember? So when current is just keeps pushing you, right? So day and night, non-stop.
Yes.
Where would it be pushing you if you're not paying attention to the actual steering of the boat?
Depends if they will bring you up, and then if you get lucky,
Up on the map, just to, to
it's
visualize.
before the Labrador Sea. It's end of the Greenland and Newfoundland between them.
Okay.
So if you get lucky, you will be will turn you on the right to the Iceland. If you not get lucky, you will turn to the left on Northwest Passage. It's very scary there.
So in that has a lot of icebergs there.
Yes, yes,
Have you seen icebergs?
yeah.
Describe when you've seen first iceberg. What did you feel like?
I say, oh shit, sorry. This is it.
Just simply, oh shit. Yes.
Yeah. The problem was at nighttime, and daytime it was foggy, so you can visibility was very poor, maybe 1 mile. 1 mile.
Okay.
And-
Which is considered to be not enough, or is it short?
Daytime, yes, but nighttime it's
Oh, right.
yeah, and my night vision radar doesn't work those time already.
Yeah, we'll talk about why it stopped working. So you had some electronics on board for navigation, right?
Yeah.
But you encountered a situation where you went through a storm, and that happened. I was reading your journal. By the way, guys, I have your journal, which I have to show. Totally forgot about this. If you're watching us on live stream or Facebook, check this out. This is the actual journal. Right. He did actually he did write in his journal every single day of his life while he was on boat, and described in great details what happened to his state of mind, which wasn't right all the time, because you're all alone, and the ocean plays tricky games with you. It will test your guts. It will test your mind. Let's put it this way. And you encountered a storm at some point. When did the first storm happen? Was it between your first segment between New York and St. John, your first stop in Canada?
It was between Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. It's a first storm hit me, and I start feeling.
That's before the first stop, or after the first?
Yes, before.
Before the first stop. And what stopped working?
So after that storm, my wind generator burn.
And why did it burn?
Because I think the wind gust was so blowing and they were
It
not
was the wind-
capable.
The wind was blowing so
to
hard that it,
handle that.
so the wind generator, which it's like looks like a fan, mounted outside outside on the deck, on a long pole, and it just blows as the wind blows. It generates some electricity enough to charge batteries and to provide enough electricity
Yes,
for your navigation.
navigation system. Yeah.
So that broke.
Yes.
That broke. What does it mean? Okay, so that broke, and what happened?
So there is that means only the source of power I have.
So
Also I have a solar battery, but they're not strong enough to charge the battery.
okay, so you have wind turbine, and you have solar panel.
Yes.
But solar panel is providing only a small amount of electricity.
Yeah, couple amperes. Because when you're sailing on the north, the sun start less activate on panels.
The angle of the sun and the power of the sun is not enough to provide enough energy for solar panels to convert this into significant electricity. So you ran out of power. I was reading in your journal. I know when to remember, maybe you need to have some like you have to like reach down into your memories because something else. There was a lot of things that happened and you don't remember that because I read your journal and now I can like put puzzle together. So your solar turbine, your turbine broke, your wind turbine broke, your solar panel didn't provide enough electricity. So the battery bank on board started to discharge. Eventually it discharged completely.
Yes.
And none of your electronics that you were relying heavily was providing you with information such as depth of waters and especially important the actual radar, so you could see objects
At nighttime.
at nighttime. Which objects? For example, icebergs
Icebergs or big boats.
or big vessels, other big vessels. And describe in your words going through a storm. What is it like? And what do you do? Yeah.
No, of course, I have experienced it, kind of that storm. It was not very big storm, but
That's the first of 5.
I try to see how my sailboat doing, because everything started broken quickly. Leaks, broken the water pumps, all other important surviving gear, and I say, oh, all right, we have a problem.
To who did you say, we have a problem?
There is a lot of voices talk with me those times. So
you told the voices in your head there is a problem.
Yeah.
It sounds funny now, but basically you are. How far from the coastline are you at that point, and to the nearest land?
Yeah, actually, I try to keep that area as close as possible. It was maybe 20-30 miles from the coast.
The closest rock that you could sail to or something, right, was 20-30 miles from where you were at that point.
Yeah.
And you've got no gear. I remember I was reading the journal, and you describe in the journal the pump broke, batteries discharged. I tried to fix the. I can't start my. You also had the gasoline generator using portable gas generator. Gasoline generator that also didn't work.
Yes.
Also broke. Because your batteries are dead, you can't even start the main engine on your boat.
Yes.
So no electricity whatsoever, zero. And you tried to fix things as how you felt you could. And you needed water pumps to work so they can pump out the water that comes inside.
Yes.
But the problem with it that electrical pump requires electricity. To get electricity, you need to start one of 3 things: either the solar panel, which does not provide enough electricity, to have the engine running, which can't start because there's no battery are drained, or your wind turbine does not charge anything, so you can't use the pump. Why do you need the pump? Because tell us, why do you need that pump?
Because I have little leaks
inside the boat.
Inside the boat, especially after the storm.
After the storm, you get leaks inside the boat, and the
On
pump
the bilge.
and the pump's supposed to basically pump the water out to keep you afloat.
Yep.
And that's a very dangerous situation right there, because how long would it take to?
It could be happen with couple hours.
Within a couple of hours, boat can get full with water and you're done at that point.
In the storm, yeah.
I also read that your safety boat, you also had an inflatable how you call it, donkey?
A dinghy.
Dinghy, yeah.
Dinghy.
Dinghy. An inflatable boat which you placed on the top of your sailboat, right on the top of the cabin. It was constantly deflating, because there was also something punctured in there and air was deflating. So great rescue combination. So the boat is sinking, the safety boat is leaking.
I forgot to wrote in the journal. I have small buoy in a
small buoy.
in one of my compartments. So at least I have something.
Ah, okay, got you. In the ice cold water, you had a buoy.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great plan. We should include this in the further instructions for like survival guide. Use a buoy when your boat is sinking. Your safety boat is inflatable boat deflating. Use a buoy.
Yes.
Got you. Okay, that's a great story right there. And what was your state of mind at that point? What you were going through? I mean, how did you feel? Okay, that was the first storm. I encountered like 3 or 4 or 5 storms in there.
Well, I was really little bit worried, but not scared or panic something. I know it's possible. I use a hand pump out.
You had a manual pump. Okay.
Manual pump, yeah. And I experienced it with the sail, so I know I could use sail. That's free energy.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, just imagine the following picture. You in the middle of the storm, your boat is sinking, your inflatable boat is deflating, you're standing with no navigational gear, and there's no way to send a signal SOS. There's nothing you can do except to say, that's fine, it happens. I'm just going to use my hand pump, and I'm just going to use my manual pump, and I'm going to pump some water out. And in order to do that, I believe you need to dig in under the engine somewhere, right? Because I remember your sailboat. Usually where the water would enter would be under the engine.
Yeah, it's kind of challenge to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while somebody needs to be upstairs steering the boat, somehow you were downstairs.
Yeah.
Pumping the water out. It's enough for me for now. Yes, I need to process this. Let's play another video, take a break, and come back to continue this amazing challenging story and amazing voyage. Thank you, and let's continue.
Я быстро сгораю, я медленно тлею, я ничего не значу, я ничего не вешу, время дают на сдачу, дай я тебя утешу, я разучился вплавь. Я не умею вброд, громкость прошу убавь, а время идет, а время идет, время идет, время идет, время идет. взвешен на весах, найден очень легким, 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 ты взвешен на весах, найден очень легким, взвешен на весах, найден очень легким, взвешен на весах, найден очень легким, взвешен на весах.
Я знаю больше, чем может унести моя голова, а время идет. Я знаю больше, чем может произнести мой рот, а время идет, время идет, а время идет, время идет, время идет. Ты ничего не значишь, ты ничего не значит, ты ничего не весишь, ты ничего не стоишь совсем. Взвешен на весах, найден очень легким, 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 взвешен на весах, найден очень легким.
Follow, follow the sun, and which way the wind blows when this day is done. Breathe, breathe in the air, set your intentions, dream with care. Tomorrow's a new day for everyone, a brand new moon and brand new sun. So follow, follow the sun, the direction of the birds, the direction of love. Breathe, breathe in the air, cherish this moment, cherish this breath. Tomorrow's a new day for everyone, a brand new moon, a brand new sun. When you feel life coming down on you like a heavy weight, when you feel this crazy society adding to the strain, take a stroll to the nearest water's edge. Remember your place. Many moons have risen and fallen long, long before you came. So which way is the wind blowing? And what does your heart say? Follow the sun, and which way the wind blows when this day is done.
You are now listening to Maker Park Radio. This is Electrosteam Radio Show. My name is Ed K. Today's show is dedicated to Captain Alaska, the person who crossed all the way from New York on a small sailboat to Greenland in about 50 days, all by himself, all alone. He is with us in the studio. Please welcome him.
Hello.
Yes, now it's funny to see that you're so calm about all the happenings that all the events that took place to you, with you, and we left off the previous segment at the point where we were describing in details how you were sailing towards St. John, which is in Canada. It's still Canada, right? It's St. John.
Yes.
And at that point, you had no navigation. You had no electricity on the boat, and you had to use regular old paper maps, ruler, and simple calculations to understand directions where you're going. I don't know if you were using stars.
Yes, it was even the big scale, not the detail scale.
So the map wasn't actually specific for this section of the sea, of the ocean, and you had to like imagine. All right, I believe it should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it happens. You said it happens.
Things happen.
Things happen. Okay, so you use paper map to determine your location. Now, eventually, you're coming to a bay. You're coming to the Bay of St. John, the port of St. John. And what's the problem?
Well, the problem is character of the bay. It's a very narrow gate, surround huge rocks around, and very tiny channel.
Which you don't know.
Yes, I don't know where is the rocks, how deep is it, and
because radar is not working.
And yeah, nothing is working. And the tide's very high, with the currents.
The tide. Also, you need to know the tide.
Yeah.
I remember once you and I were.
State Island.
Yeah, we got caught in the low tide and the boat stopped. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah.
Right. So you don't know how deep the channel is, where the rocks could lay, and also you don't have any ways of knowing, the current. You don't know no information available to you. Only visual, right? Was it at least was it a nice day when you were coming to the bay?
Yes, I get very lucky. Before it was stormy and foggy, so I can visibility was very poor, even
Okay,
half-mile distance.
Why?
So
Oh, I see.
and when I wake up and I saw that St. John's Gate, I was so happy. It was sunny, a little bit windy, perfect condition of sailing. So I get very lucky to squeeze inside.
Inside this bay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one problem. So you're going at a certain speed because you're using sails.
Yes.
And you got the other problem now. You got no way of. There is no way of braking. No way of slowing down.
Yes, I can brake, just stop and
You can.
yeah.
No, you couldn't
Yeah.
say, "Please stop. I'm gonna exit."
yeah. Stop the plane.
Okay, gotcha. So now you're coming towards the actual dock, right? You're trying to go to like get to the point where you can dock and stop the boat. What did you do?
Well, I'm circling a little bit around the inside of the bay
Okay.
and found the fisherman pier.
Okay.
So I came slowly to there
Okay.
and scratch a little bit side.
You scratch a little bit a side of the pier, a side of the boat.
Yeah.
What about the local fishermen?
They just
Their
watching
facial
yeah,
expressions.
they was very white and with a big open eyes. And who is this? Yeah.
Right. It was probably a big event for them because it's nice and calm and
Yeah.
it's a small town, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And okay, so eventually you crashed into the pier, got you, and you stepped off the boat.
And I say, hello, human.
Hello, humans.
Yeah, human.
Okay, and how did they react? What did they come to you? Did they approach you?
Yes, of course. They as soon as I
They said, "Do you need to see the
tied up-
doctor?"
No, they asked me what's wrong and help me tied well the boat and immediately give me the information about the town
the
and
town.
everything. So I found the internet at least and start connect with people and
In the port?
in the harbor and I connect immediately. You react.
Yeah.
And I say, Edik, I have no money. Everything is broke. Actually, I have maybe $7.
That's
left.
enough. You could buy another
Yeah.
ticket
Yeah.
to Alaska.
And
Okay. So
I need borrow money
Yeah.
to fix at least generator.
Yeah.
I can have a portable generator.
Yeah.
So and
And you found some people there.
I wanna tell you especially thank you for that because if not you, will not make that trip. Thank you, buddy.
Perfect.
You
You're
support
welcome.
me a lot.
You're welcome. But we're not here today to get prizes, right? So let's. Okay. So you docked at the pier. You found some people. They took you to the shop that would fix your generator. They fixed it. They did or not?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
It was working all good.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have electrical generator, but your wind turbine still broken.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is not good because wind turbine is basically free energy, and there's a lot of wind. Why not to use it?
Yeah.
While electrical gas generator requires gas, so you have to only use it in dosage. You can't use it all the time. All right, so you return back to your boat.
Mm-hmm. Well,
How much time did you spend in St. John port?
around 5 days. Yeah.
Did you rest? Did you
Well, at least I sleep well and and eat something good food a little bit.
yeah, I remember you took with you noodles, a lot of noodles.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of noodles.
Yeah, a lot.
I don't. And you only had dry food and a couple of cans of food.
Yeah,
nothing,
yes.
nothing
Mhm.
else,
Not
obviously.
else,
And also, there was another problem that I read in your journal that you didn't sleep through all this time because you can't rest. Someone needs to steer the boat all the time, watch after sails, and just see the condition and situation.
Yes.
So all this time, you were basically constantly awake. For how long from New York to St. John? First segment of your trip.
It took me 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 weeks of not resting normally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. That's tough, man. Okay, so then what happens next?
Okay, then I decide to continue my journey.
Yep.
I call the St. John's point not return. That's the point when you need to make decision. I was sitting under my boat and I sewing my sails and thinking, can I do that? Can I do that without everything? Should I do that?
Without proper gear,
Yes.
proper equipment. You mean
I-
to continue to go from St. John's to Greenland?
So
Yeah.
my consciously brain talk to my soul and
To your voices in your head.
yeah.
I remember.
And finally I make decision and I start continue to
You continue to to finalize with your preparations with what you've got.
yeah.
And you still at that point you're only fixing up a couple of things: sails, and you're fixing up maybe some provisions, some food,
Yeah, little bit food and
and the gas
generator
and gas generator.
and
You
water supplies. I refill the little bit water.
Okay, that's important too. But
Yeah.
but the boat is still leaking.
Yes.
Dinghy, the safety boat, still deflating.
Oh, actually, I fix it.
Oh, you fixed it?
Yeah, I fix it.
Voices helped you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you fixed
Roger.
it. Okay, and then so you're somewhat you're good to go. So you're sailing off, right? And again, did you start your engine at that point? Main engine, so you can take off.
Yes.
You
yes,
did,
because I fix a portable generator, so I could.
Start the main engine. Okay. Also, I've read in your journal that somewhere along the lines you tried to fix the electrical problem and you burned all the cabling, including your
Oh
converter.
yeah. Yes. I fixed them.
You fixed them forever. For good. Yeah. So you tried. It was during the storm. You were trying to understand why you can't start the engine, and you tried to use whatever tools and whatever ideas you had, and it ended up you burning cables. Your alternator on the engine didn't work, didn't generate electricity, right? On the main engine, right? And so you thought maybe you can somehow boost it and did some kind of bypassing, and instead of going through fuses, it went directly through the lines and things started smoking.
Yeah.
It's a good adventure when you're like 50 miles off the coastline, you're going towards the iceberg, and you're going through the storm, visibility is down to zero, and you tell yourself at that point it happens.
So yeah,
It happens.
it happens, and this is it. And I'm here, and I'm doing that. And actually, it was old school sailing,
Sure.
totally old school
Yeah,
sailing.
like Vikings. Yeah.
Yep. And I feel like a Viking. I
You-
scream
Yeah.
on the icebergs. They're pretty nice, but I know at the same time they're very dangerous.
Very dangerous, yeah.
So, yeah.
Because the surface is only half of what's underneath, right?
Yeah.
Because of the weight, right? And so you said you saw icebergs. You also saw whales. You've seen whales.
Of course, almost there is wildlife, sea life surround me almost every day. Dolphins, orcas, whales. I was so happy at least have some company.
Sure, especially when one of the whales tried to overturn the boat.
Yeah. One
That-
would try
that's-
to
yeah.
play with me.
To play. It was, you were
like-
very, very happy at that point.
Yeah.
Couldn't express your happiness enough. Okay, I see. And all right, good. So now you're on your way to Greenland. Okay, so how difficult was it? Okay, so next storm. I know you encountered another two storms after that. So you have no power. I mean, you got power, but still partial navigation. And your battery started to drain because batteries have to remain charged at a certain point, and if you don't have that certain point, there's no option to charge them. You can't recharge them unless you're using special equipment.
Roger.
Yep. So that's what happened to you. You missed that point. So even though you could start your engine, but that didn't do nothing. It didn't charge any batteries. So no equipment could be used. Right.
And also I save the gasoline. Even I'll start the engine and little bit reboost the battery, but they will
Quickly
still
discharge.
yes. And I'll only spend the gas, and I didn't know what's gonna be in the front of me.
Right. And how much time you were sailing now from Port Nuke, from Port Saint John to Greenland to Port Nuke?
It was about 3 weeks too.
3 weeks of not
Less than 3 weeks, but yeah.
about 3 weeks of sailing. Wow, that's very long.
It's Labrador Sea.
That's very long. And let me ask you this question. So now you're approaching Greenland. We're gonna skip some parts about this storm, and I know there's a number of storms. And at some point, I was reading in your journal, huh? Yeah. Yeah. At some point, you started losing like your calm because it was constant, non-stop. Boat goes up and down, left and right. You can't rest because you have to hold yourself all the time. And plus, for sometimes 2 or 3 days straight, wind non-stop, and it makes whistling sound because of cables. And you started it. Then it started to get you. It started to affect your state of mind. Tell us about that situation.
Well, the mast supported by strings, metal strings, and the effect is like guitar string. When you're playing them, same tongue.
Yeah.
24 hours, 3 days non-stop.
Yeah.
Your mind start.
You start to
playing.
Be affected. Yeah.
And also, of course, you exhausted. You even I can't go pee or poop. Sometimes
because it's shaking all the time. You can't stand, you can't sit. Yeah.
Yes. Even it's even if it was hard, just lay down.
Yeah.
Very hard. Big waves, of course, came. Big storm.
How big were the waves? Describe the waves that you experienced.
Okay, there's about 9 floor.
9 stories high.
9 stories high. Yeah, building. They
That's
just come and put your boat up and down, and in a couple days my sailboat absolutely
torn apart,
uncontrolled.
Yeah, uncontrolled. Yeah. That's everything. Everything is torn apart.
Yeah, I lost couple sails. They just blow away with with the ropes.
Yeah.
I have to crawl on the surface to install one more small sail with the cables, iron cables,
metal cables attached.
Metal cables to fix, at least stabilize a little bit my sailboat to not turn off.
Not turn upside down.
Yep.
Capsize. Not to capsize the boat. Yeah. At that point, did you tell yourself maybe I shouldn't have done what I went?
I just just want to say that stop this plane. I'm get out. That's it.
You wanted to say just stop this plane. I'm gonna get out.
Yeah.
Let me get off. Got you. But that wasn't an option.
Yeah, that was one of the point when I realized this is it. I think I'm gonna die. I kind of little bit have panic attack. I wish I have some vodka with me, but I didn't have it, so I took the pills. It's called Advil.
Advil pills, yeah.
And they just
to take your mind off this.
Right? Little bit, yeah. Calm down me. Then I sober myself and focus it. What should I do? Then I pray and say, whatever is gonna happen, I'm happy. What I still doing that.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a very serious moment in life when you realize that you're where you put yourself into, and there is no point of return, as you said. Now, several days later, since you couldn't get off the boat, you had to continue towards Greenland. Eventually, the day I remember you posted that video. Eventually, that you've seen the land, and in your journal it says that luckily I woke up moments before the boat would be going into the rocks.
Yes, it was like mile from the rocks.
Yeah, which is like, I don't know, like 5 more minutes of sleep, maybe. Like yeah.
But I didn't have time to
10 minutes of sleep,
worry about that. I was so exciting and happy. Yeah. I screamed, I see the land.
Yeah.
I think it's like if we're back 300 years ago when boats crossed the ocean, and after months people see the land. They were so happy they survived and reached
The final
ground.
destination.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What do you do at that point? So you see the land. What do you do at that point?
Okay, then I reach out the portable generator, started, charge the battery, start the engine. And it was pretty foggy. I still tried to navigate and found the channel, because the Nuuk is a capital of the Greenland, located inside an inlet of the huge fjord. So you need to challenge too. I didn't know the surface and the rocks. It was a lot of rocks around, and I tried to keep in the middle of the channel to get in. Yep.
And at that point, I assume none of your electronic worked, or you had some navigation at that point because the engine was running, no? Or you burnt your electronic system?
Because I, even if I have my some equipment was working, but they not showing the details. I didn't have charter maps, detail maps of the area.
Okay. Because you have to download it or something separately.
I was
GPS, right? Like regular GPS map. You have, obviously there is no internet connection whatsoever in the sea, and also eventually you're coming to Port Nuuk. That's your final destination.
Yeah.
You go into a pier, and there's one more yacht only for the entire city, for the entire pier.
Yes, I think one local only single yacht in all the Greenland.
Yeah, in all the Greenland, that was the only other yacht.
Yeah.
So you came in, you were the second traveler with your sailboat.
The owner was local.
And that owner was local. Okay, so now you finally reached your destination.
I cried.
Did you cry? Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you did. Yeah.
I cried,
Yeah.
I was terribly happy. Yeah.
Yeah. And tell us about the people, you know, when they came and saw you.
Yes.
What did they say?
Of course, it was a little bit strange to see after so many days of isolation from nobody, to see real people who is smile you, shaking your hand, say, "Wow, where you come?"
You told them.
Yeah, and tell the story and
the hospital. I just need more pills. Oh no, of course not. I'm just joking. So they saw you. Okay, yes, and
make a lot of friends. The family start coming to me, visit me. Every day, and
became local celebrity.
And but the time when I came, it was already late on my schedule.
Sure. Yeah.
So the season is over, and if I need to continue journey, come back or go somewhere also, I need to do that as soon as possible. The window was closed. The storm is coming up bigger and bigger, and so I try to think what should I do. I need still to fix all sails I broke, but my battery totally died, and my budget was almost zero. So I posted on Facebook, guys, help me please. I need some funds, and I got money for and fix the sails, and but everything start. The more I try fixing everything, then more start broken on the parts. So and I see that situation going very not right away.
So basically, the boat was torn apart, and it needed to be like a capital improvement on it. You know, you needed to like basically totally rebuild after going through what you went through, because you went through big storms, and the boat was shaken up big time, and boat wasn't even designed to go and do anything close to that.
Yeah, it's big maintenance.
Yeah, big maintenance, which something you didn't have funds to afford at that moment.
Yep.
And didn't count for. So what was your decision at that point? You estimated, you assessed your situation, and you determined. So here I am in Greenland. I have half broken boat. What should I do?
yes. Well, the general idea and purpose I done.
Yeah, the purpose of
Solo to Greenland.
Yes.
Nobody say come back.
yeah, right. You said, you played that card. I see. Right. So you didn't say I'm planning to do a round trip. It's a one-way ticket, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I I tried to fight for my boat, but that was
Yes. Yeah. How long you stayed before you made that decision to take steps to like do alternative decision?
almost 2 weeks. Almost.
For 2 weeks you were going back and forth deciding
Mhm.
what you should do.
Yeah, yeah. I try also. I working on boat.
Yeah.
Try to fix everything and
Yeah.
what is
Needs
my
to be
possibilities.
replaced.
Yeah. Mhm.
And the problem there was that first of all things are a lot more expensive, about 3 times more pricier than here,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
also if everything needs to be ordered
Yeah.
from the mainland,
Yes. Because
and it means waiting, waiting.
it's
and
more time and the snow start falling already there.
wow,
so-
in August.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
wow. All right. So what was your final decision eventually? What the conclusion was?
To sell the boat.
To sell the boat.
Yeah, and it was challenge too.
Right.
To find a buyer.
Yeah, sure. You don't know anyone there. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. There's the entire population of Nuuk is 67,000 people,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, I think my block.
Yeah.
More than that.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
So I put the very cheap price for that boat. Even it's kind of call it project boat right now in such conditions.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's still very good boat.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And then, so you sold the boat. Did you feel that this was the right decision?
Yes. Actually, I have no choice.
I mean, it would be great risk using that. It would be like definitely if you continued your journey using the same boat, probably
Yes.
chances there would be no chances of coming back.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows, right? Sure, yeah. But we forgot to mention that you've met in Port Nuuk with a team of very experienced celebrities, or Russian celebrities, a yacht organization, Rus Ark. Right?
Yes,
It's
a company. Yeah.
It's a private company that takes people on journeys, like long-term journeys, to just share a little bit of that.
Before actually they make a world record. They one of the first yacht sailboat who is make circles around
circled the world.
circle not world around North Pole.
Oh, around North Pole. Wow.
Yeah. It's one of the first.
One of the first yachts, not like
sailboat.
sailboats,
Yeah.
not the cruise icebreaker.
Mhm.
Okay. And you, I remember you were talking about them. To you, they were like your, like not mentors, but something like your people you looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
So they also arrived there,
Yes. And
and you've met them in person, right?
yes, they did.
What did they say to you?
Dude, you crazy.
That's what they said.
Yeah. We are crazy, but you're
More.
totally crazy.
You're from the next room over,
Yeah.
from the same hospital.
Yeah. The captain was
Yeah.
actually very shocked
Yeah.
about that.
His name is Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The name of organization is Rus Ark,
Rus Ark.
and they usually go to not Arctic, but they go into
Well, they do year-round sailing, half year in the Greenland and half year in Antarctica.
in Antarctica. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
So they're super pro.
Yeah.
Team of super pro.
Yeah, they're doing that for past 10 years already.
Preston, and they're and they're not doing crazy things like you do.
Yeah,
Then-
safety first.
Yeah, safety first, right?
Mhm.
And what did they say? What was the end of the story? What did they say about equipment you should have on board?
No, well, of course, all the survival right equipment for the specifically for Arctic Ocean for cold.
For cold climate.
Mm-hmm.
And they said also in your journal, it says that when we're going on long journeys like this, everything that we take with us is doubled.
Yeah.
Double of the wind turbine, double of solar panels,
Yes.
double of batteries, double of sails,
The pipes, gloves,
everything,
everything.
everything.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a story. So it's a big story. So eventually, what happened then? And you decided that you're going to you sold the boat. You obviously met with these great guys, and they told you you're crazy. You said yes, I am. And then you decided. Then you bought the plane ticket to Iceland, and you flew here from Iceland.
Yes.
And on the way back from Iceland to New York, to Newark, people at the airport could not realize what the hell is going on, who this guy is,
Oh.
and they called up FBI for you, right? On you,
And 10 policemen.
FBI, Coast Guards, and 10 policemen, and they were trying to figure out who the hell are you.
Yes.
And when they did,
Where is the stamps from the
yeah,
port to
how you
airport?
never flew anywhere?
Yeah, yeah.
How come you coming from Greenland?
Uh-huh.
When they understood who you are and what you did, they realized that you are you sailed all alone from New York to
Yeah.
Greenland, and they gave you salute, all 10 of them,
And shake the...
and they shook your hand.
yeah.
Well, let me shake your hand.
Thank you. Thank you, Edik.
Let me give you salute. It's an amazing story. I would like to thank everyone who joined us on this amazing show. This is Electrosteam, episode number 550. And thank you to all. The time ran out. We have the next DJ in the room. Thank you all. If you wish to contact Stas, please find him on Facebook. You can also find Stas through Electrosteam Show. Also, we posted his phone number in Maker Park Radio chat window. So please feel free to contact him anytime. Have a good weekend. Till then.
Мечи стаканы на стол, ну-ка мечи стаканы на стол, ну-ка мечи стаканы на стол, большую посуду. Все говорят, что пить нельзя, все говорят, что пить нельзя, все говорят, что пить нельзя, я говорю, что буду. С утра пока темно, пока темно, пока темно, рано с утра пока темно, нет еще в постели, чтобы понять, куда идти, чтобы понять, зачем идти, без колебаний выйди 100 грамм, ты достигнешь цели. Ну-ка мечи стаканы на стол, ну-ка мечи стаканы на стол, ну-ка мечи стаканы на стол, прочую посуду. Все говорят, что пить нельзя, все говорят, что пить нельзя, все говорят, что пить нельзя, я говорю, что буду. Хотел тянуть боржу, поэтому я хожу, брожу. Если дойду до конца земли, пойду бродить по морю. Если сломается аппарат, стану пиратом и буду рад. Без колебаний пробью линкору, но флот не опозорю. Ну-ка мечи стаканы на стол, ну-ка мечи стаканы на стол, чуют посуду. Все говорят, что пить нельзя, все говорят, что пить нельзя, все говорят, что пить нельзя, я говорю, что буду.